Previously in X-Men, in the not-so-distant alternate future, the mutant Rachel uses her powers to send the consciousness of the adult Kate Pryde back in time to prevent the assassination of Senator Robert Kelly in a last-ditch effort to save mutantdom and the world. Kate and the X-Men succeed, see issues 142 and 143, but the mission cost the remaining X-Men of that day dearly. Since her failed assassination attempt, spoilers, Mystique has continued to maneuver to be a major behind-the-scenes player in the American government's anti-mutant affairs. Who will she bring into her web of deceit? And how will the consequences impact our favorite band of outlaw superheroes? I am Jason Lapidus.
I am Chris Sanagan.
And we are a group of 7 comics. Welcome to episode 104 of our ongoing Tuesday night live stream read-through of the X-Men comics that became classic as we read Uncanny X-Men 184 by writer Chris Claremont, artists John Romita Jr. and Dan Green. Cover date of August 1984. Chris, how are you?
Man, I'm good. And I just had an idea as you were talking. For those out there, you may or may not know, we are taking our lovely selves to the Angoulême Festival in France in the end of January. We're going to be in France, kicking about, doing the Group of 7 comics thing over there. It's pretty cool. We're very excited. We should totally, I don't even know if we could do it. Somehow, we are there on a Tuesday. Do we do a live show from France? I don't even know if we could do it. Do we have computers? I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe we just do a talk. Maybe we just do a live stream on Instagram. I don't know, something of us in France talking about X-Men. I don't know what it's going to be.
Well, let's keep in mind there's a time change. Right. So that is one of our travel days, is it not?
Yeah.
That is the day. I mean, just to go into this, you and I, we're headed to France in the end of January for the third largest comics festival in the world. In the town of Angoulême, France. And what was that? Okay. And while we're there, we're going to be both arriving there on a Tuesday evening or Tuesday afternoon. And it's going to be a very comics-focused week. And it'll be pretty amazing. Yeah. To do the show, all we really need is computer. I mean, I'll have my AirPods. I know that much, and that'll mean we have at least a microphone and capacity to hear and not have feedback. Other than that, no, we could do it. Just the time change will be an interesting one. The Wi-Fi is the other big one, right? Sure. We have to have really good Wi-Fi, and beyond that, no, we could for sure. But the question is, do we want to? I mean, when we're all the way there. The option to bank an episode is there. The option to take a week off is there. Those couple things will be opportunities. But we'll. We got to do something
in the new year. Live in France. Jason.
We also, we've done things that we call tea time before, where we would go and just chat on Instagram live, and that could be an easy option for us to do tea time. And maybe we'd call it wine time or something.
Heure de vin.
Yeah, I'm open-minded, whatever we want to do. I'm just looking back at Days of Future Past.
That's
because I'm trying to remember how, obviously, this issue coming up involves Rachel from the Days of Future Past timeline.
Which I completely forgot, by the way. Until you mentioned in the opening that she's the one who sends him back.
She is. And we're going to talk about that. And I don't mind talking about it first, or we can talk about it after we read the issue. One of the things I like about doing this live stream read through is that we are kind of experiencing the X-Men in real time. And sometimes we don't remember something until after we've read it, but we're also not trying to go too deep into canon and continuity. Like this is this and this is that. It's more like this is the reading experience we had this time.
Absolutely.
So it's a very first person, firsthand experience as to what we have, because for a variety of reasons, but it kind of works that way. So
Yeah.
I wanted to remind myself how Rachel ends in that other timeline, or if they show her end. And if memory serves, they don't show her, and she doesn't go forth on the mission to. There she is. Okay, so she's really drawn quite brutally by Byrne and Austin.
Interesting.
She's outside of the tower where they go to stop the Sentinels, where Wolverine, Colossus, and Storm go to fight.
Yeah.
Wolverine dies, right, in that very memorable, getting his flesh burned off. And Colossus and Storm fight to the death.
Yeah.
And Rachel is on the street holding, I think it's maybe Franklin Richards.
Yeah, I was gonna say, right? Didn't he get just like wasted by?
I skipped over that page. I'm just trying to find her ending. But it doesn't actually have anything, which is kind of my point, is that it's left, like she says, we did all we could do. Now it's up to you, referring to Kate, who's back in the past. So that's what I wanted to just check to see where did we leave her, because we're gonna have some questions about who she is and how she got here, and some of it I'll be able to answer, and some of it will be a satisfactory answer. Some of it will not be. So we'll figure that out.
That's the subtitle of the show. Not satisfactory.
Not satisfactory.
Unsatisfactory.
To me, my ex-friend, says Jason Lowe. How are you, Jason? Glad you're here. Hope you're doing well. And you, Jason, are a big helper for us in terms of continuity. I think I got this one, but if I seem to slip up on something, feel free to chime in. Jason, our friend there.
And congratulations, Jason, our friend, on launch of the Century comic series, Marvel Comics. Congratulations, our friend. Right there. There it is.
There it is. There it is.
There it is.
Yes. I keep that on hand. Wherever I go, I have it within arm's reach.
Just in case. Just in case.
All will be revealed in time. That's a Globulus quotation, is it not? Do you know Globulus from G.I. Joe the movie?
No.
The movie? Oh no, I believe his quotation is like, all will be revealed in the fullness of time. Oh. That might be, but it is a great one. I think this will be a satisfactory issue. I agree. And you're welcome, Jason. Thank you for making some cool comics and for making them part of our lives. So it enriches us. One of the inspirations for this show was the very technology that we use to generate the content. You see, there is the internet, but there also are DVD-ROMs. And back in the mid-aughts, I got possession of 4 DVD-ROMs with about 40 years of Marvel Comics on each one. And, what do you do with them? Well, you share them. So this is a way for us to share scans of the original pages on newsprint with you, the viewer, because that is a beautiful way to look at Marvel Comics in the newsprint era. And we're so happy to share that. So, Chris, you're reading tonight, as almost always, on DVD-ROM, which is a representation of those original scans. I am reading through Essential X-Men, Volume 5, as I do not have this issue yet. One day I'll get it.
Yeah.
I'll get it. And so I've never seen this issue in color. This is my first time reading it.
Okay.
I'll read the whole thing while drinking water, by the way.
You can throw your voice.
I'll just spit up. Weird cover. Yes. Weird. As a kid, I saw this one either in various representations, either in back issue bins or the image just, I don't know where, in promos. But I was never sure if Xavier, is he there or is he not? Right? I didn't get it. And I had never seen that he could walk, which he can at this point in continuity, right? We've seen he's in a clone body.
And this is just under Secret Wars, which he did have the ability to walk, right?
Yep. So. And he wears a weird yellow X-Men costume with that, obviously, as we can see there, a big black X.
Combat suit.
It is a strange one. And Jason says this is one of his favorite underrated issues. Yeah, I don't. That's cool. I'm looking forward to it. We got the huge amount of fire there, which maybe is an allusion to something, and the logo is even on fire. Ooh.
You know things are intense and the logo's on fire.
Oh yeah. So I'm looking forward to this one. Did you get a look at, by the way, the classic cover, the X-Men classic?
I did not. Wait, you put it in the...
I did. I don't want to bring it up because right now I have to change my settings to make that happen.
Okay.
I was messing with my settings.
Let me
mess something up, but it's okay. It's another Paul Smith, but it feels like he's not really putting anything into it.
Okay. All right.
So this issue is the first appearance of Forge.
Right.
Who's a major player in X-Men moving forward. This is the first X-Men appearance of Rachel in this timeline.
Yes.
And this is following up on those threads. We saw Celine last issue at the bar. She was trying to get some Juggernaut action.
She was looking forward.
And instead, Peter got some Juggernaut action. So this is following up on that thread. It should be an interesting one. And we've, like I was saying, Mystique has been maneuvering around, right? She's been in her Raven Darkholm persona, working for the government. And we're not exactly sure. I mean, I'm sure it was explicitly explained at the time, or was explicit at the time. But Days of Future Past, she wanted to assassinate Senator Kelly because she wanted there to be conflict between humans and mutants, like Magneto did, in that Brotherhood of Evil way. Like, if there is... Hey, none of that, okay? So I'm just teasing. In that way that, like, if there is conflict, it's going to exacerbate things, and we're going to eventually get to come to a war where we will destroy you and take over the planet.
Right.
But we want to sow seeds of dissent.
But it backfired.
It did, in that everything got destroyed, which might always be the way, by the way. Whenever you try to maybe disrupt peace, it usually backfires and a lot more people get hurt than ever needed to in the first place. So, so that brings us to this issue where she's working alongside Valerie Cooper, who works in the government, and she's like, kind of racist, anti-mutant. She has an anti-mutant agenda. And we can lay on the allegory pretty thick if we want to, but let's let Claremont do that for us, as this is like way deep in the middle of his saga. And there's a lot to talk about maybe after, about connections between the characters here, Days of Future Past, and what works moving forward, considering the cartoons, the movies, etc., etc.
All right.
That's cool. Everything else good with you?
Yeah.
Jason Lewis is such a Republican, that Val Cooper is. If that's how you want to read it, that's it's open to your interpretation. And yeah. Hey man, blonde racists come in all different shapes, sizes, and political parties. So we go from there. Dallas, Texas. That's the whole one. Eagle Plaza. State your names, please, for voice print identification.
Raven Darkholm, Defense Advanced Research Planning Agency.
Dr. Valerie Cooper, Special Assistant to the President's National Security Advisor. Identities confirmed. Access approved. Your man Forge certainly likes his privacy.
Just being careful. He's both unique and essential. We can't afford to lose him. He designed this entire building, and owns the top 10 floors. He didn't believe the government could provide him with a secure place to work and live, so he made his own.
What?
Wow.
The past of future days. And I will tell you, having the color on there really adds a ton of clarity. In black and white, it's hard to place things in middle, fore, or background, not in that order. But this really does make it much more manageable. And can you imagine being the penciler on this and having no I don't know what description is there for John Romita Jr. to draw this living space, but it's like, yeah, huge mountain and forest vista and multi-storied
Floating stair.
platform base. Yeah, just awesomely fun. Yeah. The Past of Future Days. Haha. Starring the Uncanny X-Men. Right, we said Chris Claremont, writer, and John Romita Jr. and Dan Green, artists. The usual gang of troublemakers here, with one notable change. Glynis Wein on colors, which she has been since, I think, the very first time we've been reading.
Mm-hmm.
Tom Warzakowski on letters. He's been lettering 99% of the issues we've read. Ann Nesenti is now editor, not Louise Jones.
Mm-hmm.
And we saw Anne creeping her way into that role. And Jim Shooter is editor-in-chief, as he has been most of the time we've been reading. A hologram!
Far more than that. He replicates the physical environment as well. Feel the breeze, smell the wildflowers. This truly is the next best thing to being there. Watch your step, though. Those platforms you see are free floating. People have been known to get confused and fall off. It can be a nasty drop. This penthouse is 5 stories tall.
Where's Forge? I thought he was going to... Hey!
What is it, Val? What's wrong?
Sorry. I'm sorry. Another illusion, right? I feel so foolish crying out like that. But it seems so real.
Believe me, I understand. During my first visit, Forge scared me half to death. Fortunately, you get used to it. And him.
Listen, I hear something.
You don't need my telling you. You can see this. Oh, no, this is someone else, right? This is
Right.
like this is like the older guy, right?
Yeah.
All right, so you do this then.
Sure. You don't need my telling you. You can see signs for yourself. The ancient patterns are being broken. The proper order of things overturned. The fabric of life itself is unraveling.
So?
You alone possess the power to put matters right. It is your responsibility, your sacred duty.
Once, perhaps, but no longer.
Jason Lowe says, one of JRJR's best issues in my opinion, and this double page splash sells it for me, plus another that I will point out later. Jason, I wait with bated breath. Ooh. Toy Renzu, what's up, geeks? How are you? I hope you are well too. Yeah, again, the pose and outfit choice.
It's pretty wonderful.
It's pretty 80s and pretty wonderful. Yeah. Like, yeah, I don't know where to begin.
Oh, yeah. Find others to take my place, Naze.
We tried. They did their best. Nothing remains of them save their bleached bones. You cannot hide from your destiny.
I don't. I simply deny it.
Fool! Your cowardice will doom all you hold dear.
But suppose, my old friend, a man holds nothing dear and does not care.
The hologram. It's gone.
Good afternoon, ladies. Welcome to my house. I'm Forge. My apologies for Naze. He has a good heart, but his passions occasionally get the better of him. I've known him my entire life. Sometimes he forgets I'm no longer a child, or his people. You look well, Ray.
His shorts are just so short.
So short. So short.
Yeah, a lot of balls.
Look at that pose with the walking stick, too. And the glove? I don't know.
Right. Well, maybe. Right. So we see he has a robotic leg of some kind for some reason. Maybe we'll learn more about it. Perhaps he has a hand like that, too. Marvel Pinup Forge. Yeah, it's pretty beefy.
Oh, yeah. You too, Forge. What was that all about? Tribal business. A chapter of my life I closed years ago. Nothing really to concern you or the Defense Department. Now, if you'll follow me to my lab.
It's a pleasure to meet you at last, Forge. Your reputation doesn't do you justice.
I have a knack for inventing. When Tony Stark stopped designing weaponry, the government turned to me.
Just looking at this and from a storytelling point of view. There's like one background on the whole
Right.
page, right?
Right.
6 panels, one background. You get to play a little bit with the color change to just give it some variety. But he really goes to town on that one with all the, Reed Richards, Tony Stark, laboratory,
Oh yeah.
Batcave, machinery, which is totally fun and really great to look at. That staircase is like really uncreative, but that's all you need to
Yeah.
sell
And
it, right?
it
The
does feel
question,
very like having not like myself personally not knowing much about the Forge character, and then also this being the introduction of the Forge character. Like it does very much feel like the X-Men don't have like a Mr. Fantastic Tony Stark character.
yeah. Victoria says an iconic Forge entrance. Yeah, it's like the iconic Forge entrance. It's really, it makes such an impression. His collar is popped on on his shirt too. It kind of puts him in this moment as like a fashion forward kind of guy a little
Yeah.
bit.
He's popping his collar, man.
He is, and I wonder if this is lost by Romita during his run, or if it just doesn't catch on as a piece of Forge that they want to continue to play up. Like the character might, he's going to iterate as every time that the team tackles the character, they're going to present him in a different way. And when
Right.
we meet him in the cartoon, very
Yeah.
different version, right?
We need
And I think that's kind of fun. We never saw him in the movies, did we?
No. Hold on, we just need to give my dog water. 1 second.
Okay, you give that dog water. I will read Val's next line anyway. Or maybe I'll wait just because it is just a moment. But I'm trying to take those lessons. Chris and I are doing a monthly comic. Sorry, like a comic for the month of December, where every day I'm drawing 3 panels and putting them up on Instagram.
I'm back.
And it's a spontaneous and expedient drawing experience. It's like there's only a few hours in a day to get this whole thing done, including the coloring, the inking, coloring, and lettering, and the whole thing. And Romita is on my mind a lot because he is famous for employing what he calls the deadline method, or the deadline style, where he gets things done in time for the deadline. And he's just not wasting pencil strokes on rendering more than he needs to. And it's really comes down to, like, does it read or does it not read? Can the reader interpret this the way he's intending and in the spirit of what Claremont is writing? And the answer is obviously at this point yes. But it's so neat to watch it happen at a professional level, and then try to take inspiration from that at our production level, which is fun. I love that hollow projection system upstairs.
Merely a little something I whipped up to pass the time. I already made one for Raven. Would you like one for your own place?
That'd be wonderful.
As good as done. Now, according to Ray, the U.S. is in armed conflict with an extraterrestrial race of dire wraiths.
So for those who haven't come across those before, they are yucky. We did meet them for a moment in X-Men comics.
Okay.
Where Rogue, did we not? Where Rogue was having, or did I read ahead and that's where it came in?
Maybe.
We haven't had any dire wraiths yet, have we?
Not to my understanding, not to my knowledge.
They're like orange and kind of droopy. Okay, so maybe just because I read ahead. They are famous, of course, from, as he's about to say, Rom the Space Knight, which was a licensed action figure.
Yes.
And he got tied up in Marvel continuity for better or for worse. So this is one of those times where, to try and bump sales of Rom, they are connecting, another series to it, and it's a little weird. But sure. The dire wraiths.
Dire wraiths. Their arch foe, the Space Knight Rom, uses an analyzer to locate these beings, and a neutralizer, which banishes them to another dimensional limbo. However, because of built-in fail-safe mechanisms, we are unable to examine, much less copy, Rom's weapons. My brief was to duplicate them both. And have you? In part. This gun should theoretically neutralize the power of any super being, mutant or otherwise. In essence, they become normal people.
Excellent. Has it been tested?
No. I'm still not sure whether the effect is temporary or permanent, or what the physical or psychological repercussions might be. As you can imagine, this really isn't the sort of thing that can be tested on live subjects. There's a lot more work to be done, I'm afraid, before the prototype can be released. On the other hand, the scanner is ready to go. It'll tell you who is or isn't baseline human, and whether they're mutant or alien. It can even differentiate between Kree, Skrull, and most importantly, Wraiths. Huh. As a matter of fact, it reveals that one of us in this room is a mutant. What? Does he mean me? Who else? If he denounces me, that's sure to jeopardize my true identity as Mystique, leader of the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. That must not happen. I have no choice. I have to kill him, and Val as well. My apologies, ladies. No need for alarm. That was just a joke. The mutant you see is me.
Very funny.
Indeed. So close to total disaster. But this is only a temporary reprieve. I have to make certain Forge's scanner is never used all. Failing that, to disguise my real nature from it. And finally, most assuredly, to repay our host in full for his little jest. Whatever happens to Raven's sense of humor, it looks could kill my troubles be over. I really spooked her. I wonder why. She got something to hide? Anyone interested in lunch? If I do say so myself, I'm a superb cook. And I can guarantee the view cannot be beat.
And then we have a Jason Lowe line here. Why should we say it together? The Jason Lowe line as we segue into the next scene.
Oh, absolutely. Ready?
Yep.
1, 2, 3. New York City.
There you go, Jason. That's
there you go. 3, buddy.
Let's see. This is a newscaster talking, I guess. The giant dragon appeared literally out of nowhere to ravage Tokyo. Fortunately, the X-Men, aided by Japan's own native superhero Sunfire, were able to contain the beast's rampage and ultimately destroy it. See X-Men 181. Thanks, Anne. Many questions have been raised concerning mutants, such as the X-Men. People wonder if they are threats to the United States or humanity itself, yet none can deny that, without their timely intervention, Japan's capital might have been devastated and countless thousands killed. I recognize the men. Sunfire, Wolverine, Colossus, a Nightcrawler. But who's the woman? She can't be Storm. Her would never look like that. The justification of national security has been used to explain the introduction in Congress by Senator Robert Kelly of the Mutant Affairs Control Act. Among more draconian provisions... What did he say? What was the name of that bill? Oh no! The lights, the TV. Someone turned off the electricity. The street's deserted and my size scan reveals the store's empty too. An automatic circuit must have cut the power. All I have to do is use my telekinetic talent to temporarily override the control elements and switch everything back on. I hope I'm not too late. This is John Cheever. Oh, he's British. There you go.
Oh.
This is John Cheever reporting for overnight. I missed it. Stupid girl. Why didn't I act faster? I'm so confused. I can't shake the feeling that something awful has happened. I went to the X Mansion yesterday looking for Professor Xavier. Colossus' little sister, Ileana, answered the door. She was a 15-year-old girl. Seeing New Mutants 18. Still on sale. Please buy it, please.
Please.
But the Ileana I remember was 15 when she died. And that day is still years in the future. The Mutant Control Act was passed in response to the assassination by mutants of Senator Robert Kelly. Yet here, now, he's the man responsible for it. My time shift was successful. I'm in the past. But is it the right past? My past? Before we continue on with the scuff, just wanted to talk ink style. You are a big fan of the Ann Nesenti written, John Romita Jr. drawn, and legendary Al Williamson inked Daredevil run, which happens after this.
Yes.
And The ink line that Al Williamson employs is similar to a lot of this Dan Green fun atmospheric stuff, like the background behind Rachel looking down the street with the street lamps. There's like he creates these levels of depth by having just atmosphere lines like wind or smog or whatever, and then like the glow around the light, how there are ink lines too to kind of denote kind of shimmering effect. And then as she walks, like this soup she's walking through, it's really neat as an artist to use that to create that depth when maybe it's a fast way to do it that does create some atmosphere. I like doing it a lot, and I wish I got to draw a comic where there was a lot more fog and nighttime, and they're in Belgium and they're
we can do
fighting in some port city, in World War One, like that. Oh, we did that. But I like that idea.
Comic for you.
Having characters coming out in and out of the shadows at night. It's a fun one. The one we're doing now is like it's permanent daylight, I think, in the little world they live in. It's permanent daylight, so there's no shadows. But anyway, you need to see how Romita's drawing her, like similar haircut, but at least it looks like it's grown in a bit since the way Byrne drew her, and he's given her some feminine lines. Like Byrne draws her like almost like not featureless, but like a wreck of a person. It really doesn't look good. This looks much more interesting, more 3D.
It does.
There's a scuff on the ground.
Scuff,
she walks away. She's dragging her heels, I think.
That's right. Scuff. Scuff. Magnificent. No, it's not that.
Oh, please.
What voice did I give for her? No, not yes or no. Go in that direction.
Oh, I'm into it. Just whatever. I love a big swing.
Magnificent. Not since the dawn of my existence have I sensed such power in a living being. In many ways, it dwarfs even my own. This metropolis has provided me with great sport since my arrival. Tonight, however, it offers something far more precious. Not prey for Selim, the demon huntress, but a disciple and heir.
That's a super cool panel too, with the screen tone that's been applied. It's like she's there and she's not there. She's in the darkness and yet, there's like blood in the air. It's really.
I also wonder if my dog was responding to my vocal performance because she was staring right at me. Like
he's like, I do not like that.
I do not like that, Celine. I'm like, okay.
Right. Yeah, Jason also digs that last panel. I'm going to show you how it looks in black and white. Okay, you ready for a solo layout? Here we go. Sorry, everybody. But that's how it would look on the drawing board. You see the ink work being done, and then that gray screen tone with a transition has been laid over top. And yeah, it's pretty.
It's great. I dig that whole page.
Oh, me too.
Even, kind of minimalist panels of the wind and the fog, and then the reveal of the full body, and then the red black. It's great.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
There's also not a holding line around her in some parts. It's just that the coloring does the difference between some of her dress as well as just like fades in and fades out. Some fun choices.
Fun choice, absolutely.
What's that? Who's there? I can't see anybody with my eyes or my mind. Why am I so jumpy? It's so strange and a little scary seeing New York like this. The city I remember was mostly in ruins. The air's turned cold all of a sudden. I can't stop shaking. Someone's out there in the fog watching me, following me. I can feel it. Ah! A fire truck. Oh, brother. I nearly died from fright. I'm in worse shape than I thought. My time shift left me so weak. I'm as good as...
Come to me, child. Yield to my dark embrace, and you will never be weak. Never.
Get away
Get
from me. Sorry, I got excited. Get away from me. Her hunger is so strong in her mind. She wants my life. I'm no match for her. I've got to run. Who is she? What kind of creature? There, a light. I can hide inside, try to lose her in the crowd, or maybe find some help. That smoking man is toast.
Hey! What are you doing, girl? This club's members only.
Come back here, you! Jerry, get her! Made it. I'm safe, I hope.
And she's picking up on all the thoughts, right?
Yeah. Do you want to read them as a bunch of different voices?
I can only read some of them, I think.
Okay. Can you read the first one?
I'm missing.
I guess not.
I guess not. Sorry.
I'm Tony.
Oh.
Jerk. So then I cut it out. Do that again. Backbreaker, honk. My foot. Someone fell. Girl, boy. He hurt? No class. My bag. Too many thoughts, too close, too intense. My size shields aren't working. A dog, cute, yum. She's alone. I'd like to. Rachel. That voice, the vampire. I can't block them out of my mind. No!
On your feet, honey. Showtime's over. Give me the grief, I'll break your arm.
Please, let me explain.
Save it. We run a class act here. No street riffraff allowed.
Problems, Jerry?
Only the usual, Nick. Lady crashed the gate.
Don't throw me out. She'll kill me. Who will?
Girlfriend. Most likely a pimp or dealer. Who cares? Let me deal with this, boss. That's what you pay me for.
In a minute. I'm Nick Damiano, miss. I own the club. You say someone's after you? Woman. Grabbed me from alleys, stealing my force. Trying to make me like her.
She's a nutcase, Nick. Dump her.
Lay off, Jerry. Can't you see she's terrified? It's okay. It won't hurt you. My lord, you're skin and bones. What's your name? Rachel. I'm not crazy. You must believe me.
I just checked the street, boss. No one's there.
Call the precinct. Have them send a car. No police.
Why not, lady? You gonna run? You wanna run?
Not like that. I've committed no crime. Look. You're out on your feet. My loft's just around the corner. How about I take you home, feed you, put you to bed. In the morning, we'll make a fresh start and sort everything out, okay?
Big mistake, boss. I'm telling you, the kid is trouble.
My instincts say different. Besides, Jer, I can take care of myself.
Nick.
You want to keep your job, fella? Then mind your own business.
Part of that job, boss, is keeping you healthy. I better call you dad. You ain't gonna like this one bit.
It's beautiful. Actually, do you want to play Nick for a bit?
Sure.
Okay, sorry.
I did the renovation work myself. Took me over a year. It was worth every blister.
His gentleness reminds me of Franklin. I mind scanned him at the club. There are no nasty ulterior motives behind his offer. He really is just concerned about me. There's no sign of that huntress. Maybe I only imagined the side touch I felt before. Now look at that panel, like that straight line right across the bottom of the panel.
Yeah.
This is where there is not synchronicity between how much room is being left and how much Claremont wants to write.
Right.
Poor Orzakowski has to letter things. Like the top two make total sense. And maybe you could have pushed the It's Beautiful across over the mantle, and then the renovation one over the window, and then the first thought balloon like where the other ones are, and then you could fit that last sentence or two in.
Mm-hmm.
But the It's Beautiful where it is actually nicer because it gives you the depth of the room. It makes it feel like she's at one end and her voice isn't carrying all the way. So they're just not, it's an anomaly, like just goofy lettering. And I never want to have thought balloons that go in one straight line across the bottom of the panel like that. I don't think it looks good. It feels weird.
Where are you from?
Around.
I'm not the enemy, Rachel.
I know, Nick. I'm sorry. old habits. In my day, normal humans like you hated mutants. We were hunted. And if we were lucky, killed. The survivors were sent to concentration camps. Real orange juice. Oh, Nick, it's been years since I had any.
Be my guest. Whoops, don't spill.
I can't help myself. My hands won't stop shaking. I made a mess. I'm sorry.
Forget it. And don't worry, there's plenty more. Right now, however, Doc Damiano's prescription is a long soak in a hot tub while he fixes dinner. I assume you're hungry.
Starved.
Follow me then. I'll show you where everything is. After that, you're on your own.
This next panel, can you see she's sticking her tongue out?
Yeah.
She's like looking at it's really cute. That's really cute. Oh, I've seen healthier looking ghouls. No wonder the bouncer didn't trust me. I wouldn't either. On her worst day, my mom never looked so awful. And my hair. It'll probably take forever to grow again. Look at all this. I don't believe it. Oh, that wonderful, darling, magnificent man. He has bubble bath. Later. No doubt about it, Rachel, my girl. You have died and gone to heaven.
It's quite the tub.
It is. It's an amazing tub. It's a room with a sunken tub.
Mm-hmm.
She's there leaning back, having a bath and orange juice.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what's better than a bath and orange juice? A steaming bubble bath and juice. Huh? Something's not right. Nick? No answer. I can't sense his thoughts anymore. I don't like this. Relax. Don't get paranoid. I could have dozed off. He might have stepped out for some groceries. There's no reason to panic. But if he had left, I'd have felt him go. I'm sure of it. I can't have gotten that careless.
There's no reason to panic about this man you just met who brought you home and said the best thing for you would be to run you a hot bubble bath and to get into bed and have some dinner. Nothing to worry about.
Right, but her scan said he's okay.
Sure.
And then I'm also looking at the backgrounds here and just like how little it takes to make this work, except for the folding chair in this giant jacuzzi room.
Yeah.
Is a little suspect. But the shadow stuff is really good.
For sure.
Yeah, he's really good at that. I dig it. Is anybody... Nick? Gee, candles and wine. He's gone to a lot of trouble. That's nice. But why won't he answer? And why can't I hear his thoughts? Did the time shift cause long-term effects? Has it crippled my side talent? That's something I didn't bargain for. Nick, are you... He's dead. The rug. What's it doing?
Did you truly believe, dear Rachel, that I would allow you to escape?
You! Murderess! Why did you kill him?
I'm a predator, child. Since time immemorial, good call, Jason Lowe, Homo sapiens have been the prey of a dark huntress, Celine. Very soon now it shall be yours as well.
That's awesome. Before you change... Oh, go back.
Oh, bah.
It's okay. That panel where you see the face reveal...
Yeah.
The splatter on the chair back.
Yeah.
Like, it adds so much to that. Like, yeah, the shriveled out skull and awesome hair is cool, but just that little extra of, like, dried blood and just debris, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Really, really effective.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
Also, that last panel with just the leg and her looking up.
Yeah.
That's good.
Since time immemorial.
Time immemorial. It's classic. Classic in New York City.
Never. She's talking to the sea creatures.
Mm-hmm.
Ha! That force bolt knocked her for a loop. I'm rested, more in command of my abilities. I'll make that witch regret the moment she laid eyes on me. My telekinetic powers getting rid of the rug. I'm free.
Most formidable child. Your resistance and ability surpass my expectations. I'm impressed.
Wait till you see what I do for an encore.
I am not without resources myself. My control over inanimate objects is absolute. I can reduce them to dust. Or bring them to life.
Gross.
Yeah, it is gross.
The floor. I'm grabbed. My force field's barely keeping this wooden tidal wave back. And Celine's got psychic powers too. She's deflecting my psi bolts.
What price now, Rachel? The arrogance of youth.
Below the floor, unnoticed by the two combatants. Oh boy. Gas and electrical lines rupture. All that's needed is a spark. When it comes... Yeah!
Flames. How lovely. And so very useful, Rachel. For I can control them as well.
She's super powerful.
She is very powerful.
And these Secret Wars figures, by the way, they're on the right.
And they all have shields?
Yeah, so the figures all came with a shield with a lenticular image. You know what lenticular is? Like, it's that kind that has two images in it and a corrugated plastic outer coating that when you angle the image one way or the other, depending on which way the corrugated lines go, you'll see image A or image B.
Ah, I see.
You know what I'm talking about? So it can have a character throwing a punch or a character masked and unmasked or whatever it might be. And they all came with the shield, which was weird.
Oh,
Cap
so
did not come with his cap shield, but yet the lenticular shield, which was red and round.
Okay.
But it was a gimmick for all the characters to have.
Right.
And this was like my first time seeing them was in a comic ad. And I was desperate to get them because, you know, action figures.
What's the third one in the red suit?
That's Magneto.
Oh, Magneto.
Yes, he's red and purple. And it's beautiful. His red is a little orangey, as is Iron Man's, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Spidey's red was a good red, as was Cap's. I think they're just slightly more red and less orange than Magneto's. Of course, it's Kang on the far left. And Doc Ock, everybody who ever had that Doc Ock, the very stiff plastic tentacles broke off.
Of course.
And that Doctor Doom was in like the Iron Man armor, but in terms of the arms and legs, it was the Iron Man armor. And the body was a new piece with a fun printed pattern on his chest of like cool gadgets and stuff.
Okay.
And it was like a really fun combat Doctor Doom. And Marvel Legends just made that this year. They made a version of that one, and it's phenomenal. I'm so happy to get my hands on it because
that's cool.
Yeah. So for me to get with Marvel Legends, I was really, really excited to get all of these finally this year, so I can recreate my Secret Wars figures in Marvel Legends. If that makes any sense.
It makes complete sense.
Yeah, it's special to me. And hello there, towing around. How are you, sir? Hope you're well. We're talking action figures, and you happen to show up. It's as if you knew.
As if you knew. You heard the siren's call of action figure Doc.
I like those 3 panels under the floorboard. That's good.
Yeah, man.
Good storytelling.
They look good. Solid.
Yeah.
All right.
Resistance is useless. Your raw power no match for my eons of experience. Embrace my darkness, Rachel. Be one with me. Savor in full measure the joy of the eternal hunt, the ecstasy of the kill.
She's past my shields. Inside my mind. Too deep. I can't drive her out. My thoughts becoming hers. I won't give up. I can't. But what am I to do? How can I fight her? It's so hard. Child, can you hear me? Professor Xavier! Celine stealing my life, my soul. Hurry, Professor. Follow my thoughts. Help me! As Cerebro indicated,
You still there? Jay, still there? Can folks hear me in the chat? Feel free to join the chat and let me know if you can hear my voice. Get a thumbs up from everybody, or you can hear me. Not sure if people can hear me. Jason hears me. Jason Lapidus, can you hear us? I don't know if you can comment in the chat through Group of 7 Comics.
Everything's good. You can hear everybody, right?
Now I can hear you.
I bumped my microphone. I have the input is janky. Whenever I bump, the wire just, I had a time slip. Exactly. Thank you, Jason Long.
Time slip.
So you heard me doing some Charles Xavier?
As Cerebro indicated, that's the last I heard.
That whole sentence, or?
That's where you should probably start.
Okay. As Cerebro indicated, 2 mutants, both possessing considerable power. I'm Charles Xavier. Stand away from the girl, Celine, and leave her be, or suffer the consequences.
By Hecate, is it a ghost?
Be careful, rogues. The apartment's an inferno.
Better teleport outside, Nightcrawler. I'm invulnerable. And Colossus made of steel. Fire's no danger to us. Whoa! Seems like we're not wanted, Petey. Where does our foot look? I cannot see through the smoke.
Nightcrawler. Celine is trying to escape. Intercept her.
Going my way, Fräulein?
Guide the others to me, Professor, and quickly. I can't stay here long.
This is.
Celine's clearing a path through the flames for herself and her prisoner. They aren't affecting her.
Eureka, my friend. Look out, boy. You heading for a fall. I got you, Colossus. No sense ruining your pretty new costume its first night out. Spasiba, rogue. If that means thanks, hon, anytime.
I always wondered when he got this costume. This is so exciting. And thank you for the announcement. That's really good.
Here it is. We get it.
Yeah, but it's going to get, I'm sure it'll go through a couple iterations again, as they figure it out.
Oh, yeah.
Fool, you dare challenge one who has ruled empires?
As the saying goes, it's a living.
By the way, Liebchen,
Do you know you're beautiful when you're angry? My costume, it's choking me.
I am deadly too, changeling. Rachel is mine. Though your numbers are legion, you'll not keep her from me.
Oh, now why not you let the girl decide that for herself of her own free will? I gotta make this short and sweet, for the elf and Rachel both get barbecued.
Impossible. We're touching flesh to flesh. I should be absorbing her memories and powers, but instead, the reverse is happening. Straining my life.
Stop.
Xavier's mental attack. More than I can bear. I must flee.
I think that's Colossus.
Colossus, yeah.
Professor, she's leaping into the heart of the fire.
I think this is Xavier.
Yeah.
Celine's like a chameleon, blending her psychic persona with those of the people around her. I'm losing her in the background, static. Don't try to follow X-Men. It's too dangerous. Colossus, take care of Nightcrawler and the young lady. Rogue, open a pathway to the street.
Good as done, Prof. When Celine's at me, is that what it feels like to those I attack? It was awful. No wonder people hate me. I am out, Professor.
Excellent, lad. Storm, the fire is out of control. I see, Professor. I'm afraid I may be too late to save the building, but my elemental powers will at least prevent the blaze from spreading. I must admit, the Professor makes a superb leader. He founded the X-Men. He is our teacher. Is it fair to begrudge him that role? But is his desire to lead, his automatic assumption of command, a reflection on my performance? Am I not good enough? New York wins! Knock out the fire! Rain! Moments later, I saw no sign of Celine. I think you... maybe it's Rogue or Nightcrawler.
She's a mutant. When we fought, I sensed... Oh, no.
Do you think it's Rachel? Yes,
Well,
it's Rachel. It's
Rachel, yeah.
She's a mutant. When we fought, I sensed psychic keys you taught me, Professor. In her mind. She's some kind of vampire, sustaining herself with the life energy of others. When did I teach you, young lady? We've never met. Right. I keep forgetting. That hasn't happened yet. Heck, in reality, neither have I. What? And I do not know who's thinking this. It's Storm. Something about the girl's face. She's strangely familiar. I feel so rocky. If I didn't have you to hold on to, Professor Xavier, you're standing. You can walk?
He can talk. He can talk. He can talk. He can talk.
He can sing!
And you're Storm. Should be long. What happened to your costume? I've seen photographs. I've known you all my life. You never look like this. Then, child, your pictures and memories are wrong. No! I can't deny it any longer. I've made a terrible mistake. Somehow, I'm stuck in the wrong past. Because of my stupidity, the world is doomed. Next, Rogue, Public Enemy, which I feel like has been a title we've seen before.
I was going to say, I believe that we've been down that path.
Perhaps. Tell me something.
Yes.
Did you read any of these letters? Anything funny?
Did you?
No, I don't have this issue.
Oh, right. No, are any of them anything tasty in there?
But one of them is writing to Jean. Melissa Cook is writing to Jean.
That's interesting. It's like a poem.
Looks like Scott is going to be narrating this one.
Huh.
Yeah.
Is that what this is? Scott is the response?
I think so. I mean, from that picture.
Yeah. That's Paul Smith, right? That's a Paul Smith.
Yeah, that is a Paul Smith.
Yeah.
That's fun. But I'll flip to the next page you were about to show. That cool inside back cover.
High Adventure. Amazing High Adventure.
Come to a comic store near you. Neat.
Amazing High Adventure. Louise Simonson and that person. And Nesenti.
Yes. It's Steve Lealoha.
Ah,
Lealoha, yeah.
Kind of like a Journey into Mystery thing.
Maybe. It's like a Tony Anisenti and Tony Salmons.
Yeah.
Steve Englehart and John Severin. That's classic. And Severin is like awesome guy from EC Comics back in the day. That's a Bill Sienkiewicz painting in the background.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Nice. And then John Byrne ad on the left.
Yeah.
Yeah. He still can't draw kids. Every time he tries to draw a child, it's really, really weird.
This proportions are not there.
Jason Lowe says, artist of the silent issue. Silent issue is what I call it when I fart in the nighttime. There's a problem. It's a silent issue, my dear. He is one of the two. He's on finishes. Actually, Larry Hama, I believe, does breakdowns on issue 21 of G.I. Joe, also known as the silent issue or silent interlude, which is I think its actual title. and Leia Aloha does the finishes. It's a really neat looking comic. I kind of wish all of G.I. Joe looked like that, but unfortunately, it didn't go that far. Neat stuff, though. Hey, man, this was not what I expected. You know, Rachel is we're another new character thrown into the mix, like a mutant in need, a mutant in distress. Man, he can't go without having a telepath for very long. He loves his telepaths.
Totally.
Claremont, that is.
My side bolts.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. It is great having telepath on the team. It's such a practical, strategic advantage.
Mm-hmm.
It does take away, like, I don't know how many, I think as maybe Liefeld calls them, temple touchers, like people whose powers are to do this.
Touchers.
Like, yeah, like this fight is only trying harder, must try harder. I'm not sure how fun that is after a while as a reader or as an artist or as a writer to just must concentrate more as your growth and your struggle.
It's like, when like kids are in diapers and they poop and they like look at you.
I'm familiar.
And they just they stare at you intently and you're like, oh, you're just dropping it right now.
By the way, I think that was very ageist of you. Anyone can
when anyone uses a diaper and stares at you.
Yes. And there has to be a not just here, I'll do the look. I'll do it.
It's like
it's this face. Ready? Hold on.
That's right. And then it ends. Then it ends. Yep. Whew. We've both been there.
Oh. Yeah, it's much better. I gotta open a window in here, I think. Oh, but yeah, that's
Adam Driver on SNL.
Oh, did you like that skit?
Yeah, that baby sketch, I laughed pretty hard.
Me too. I thought it was really funny. I'm looking forward to seeing where this goes. Like, Celine is a formidable antagonist. It sounds like she can kind of do anything, and she has no what's the word? Like, compuncture? No, I don't know how to phrase this. She doesn't mind killing everybody,
Right.
So that makes her difficult to manage, but it's neat to see astral plane Xavier there and guiding things.
As like a field commander is interesting.
Yeah, kind of forcing Storm to a little bit of the sideline role. Like, she's literally outside the building waiting.
Yeah.
In the old days, she
here,
was in
Professor.
there, shooting lightning bolts at that vampire right away. But it does, Celine does power up whatever conflict there is. Like, she had some high stakes. Do you want to talk about Rachel for a minute? Like, did you care about?
I mean,
do you have questions about who, what, why?
You're right. Yeah, you're right. We've talked in previous episodes about, with the Phoenix Saga and Jean and Jean's clone and Madeline Pryor and now Rachel. It's like, it's Jean. Like, do you want one? Right. Should have just kept Jean. Like, if this is what it is.
And it's funny to think that was sort of, again, like the accidental killing of her by killing the Broccoli People planet. It just they agree to kill her eventually. It's got a piper. You got to pay the piper on that one. But Claremont is bringing her back in alternate ways. So one of the things that I struggled with as a kid and I never understood, and still I'm glad I looked it up.
Yeah.
But the inconsistency with what that power set was that sent Kate Pride back, because she sent Kate's consciousness into young Kitty.
Yeah.
But what consciousness did she sent her own consciousness back into what body? So the answer is that her body is there. So that doesn't mean it doesn't make sense. It just means that there's more to her power set than we realize.
Right.
And that wasn't a fully fleshed out, developed idea from Byrne and Claremont. And Claremont is pushing that boundary, and it will not get answered by Claremont. So I looked into it. He kicks that can down the curb, doesn't lay out her entire origin. I don't think he knows, truthfully. He just wants to have another young Jean there that fits into the team. it creates fun conflicts to have her there and have her not be Jean,
Mhm.
but have Jean be her mom.
Mhm.
So that's like a fun one, especially with Maddie Pryor being part of the X family circle and her dad not knowing she exists and all that kind of stuff. So there's just some fun drama that it adds, having a future daughter from an alternate timeline there. But it takes place in an issue of Excalibur after Claremont is off the X books and out of Marvel, where Alan Davis, as a scripter, writes how he thinks, like what happened next after Days of Future Past
Oh, okay.
with
And what is it?
Kate and Rachel. And it is very convoluted, but essentially they agree that, you know, actually it's almost against Rachel's will. Kate kind of like puts a hypnotic suggestion in her that if things ever get bad to a certain point, she's going to come back to the past. And she comes back to the 616 past, which is just like the fluky part. So her character then, people build on that as new writers take over, you know,
Right.
and play with the characters. And that's actually what her pure power set is supposed to be down the road. But this is not a Claremont thing. This is a continuity, other writers thing. Her
Okay.
power is that she can do what was in Doctor Strange 2. She can do the dimensional mental jumping. Like the power of the Darkhold.
Yeah.
Like
That
you know, like America
they call
Chavez.
it. It's like sleep. Well, it's not sleep. Dreamwalking.
Sure. So dreamwalking she can do, but also she has. Remember, America Chavez was like the only one of her in any reality. That's Rachel.
Oh.
So Rachel is the only Rachel Summers.
Only
There
version
isn't
of
any
herself.
other. Yes, and she can do the dream walking, but it's like chrono slipping or chrono whatever, because it's a time based one. So she can do that, and they write her that her telepathy and her telekinesis is like a skill she's learned that she's able to do, but her actual power is like the chrono slipping stuff.
Yeah.
So that will play no bearing on what we read. Our only interpretation is what is given to us in the text that Claremont writes, and he doesn't get into any of the stuff that she is. He does flesh out trauma for her, and we'll see some other interesting stuff.
Mhm.
But as a kid, she was a character I never connected with. She always had she was very damaged when I started reading the comic, and I didn't connect with her. And I see now why, and I get it. It gets her to have that longer arc.
Sure.
But we'll see as we get to know her better, and I really, really want them to make Marvel Legends of her. Jason says, will you be doing X-Men Alpha Flight Limited Series? I think that's a hard yes for us. It is in this volume, and you have a version of it too.
I do.
Right?
Yeah, that's right. I've got it. That's right. So yeah.
And yeah, it fits in the continuity nicely. And I think we just need to find a way to share it with you, the reader, unless it's on that DVD
It might be.
ROM, which I would maybe take a look and see if it's there. But
What
it's
year is
some
it?
beautiful Paul Smith art. It is like 84, 85, right in that spot. I'll look right now. And his line art is so good. And that's my first X-Men comic was that.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I was an Alpha Flight reader at the time.
Of course. Yeah.
And there's so many good things. I can't wait to read this. I don't know what year. But it's in that 80s stretch. I wouldn't be surprised if it's not included on the DVD-ROM, but anyway. Very cool. So I'm looking forward to getting to that one. We have lots to read. And then comes X Factor. Yeah, I don't think we're going to read X Factor. It's not Claremont, right? It's Louis Simonson, and I'm not sure who actually starts the series, who starts writing it. But it's kind of counter to Claremont's vision. Like, he did not want them to bring back, it wasn't his decision to bring back Jean Grey in the way that they did for X Factor. And it changed, it forced them to retcon the past, which I don't mind. Chris, do you know how they retcon? So, like,
Clone.
essentially what happens is that they say that the version of her that came up out of the water was a clone that the Phoenix Force made. It like when the shuttle crashes in the water, it like puts a cocoon around her, and then it manifests itself into her in a version of her body, so that when she comes out of the water, it is actually. So it wasn't her that died. So they discover her at the bottom of Jamaica Bay.
It wasn't Gene who died.
It wasn't. It was the Phoenix Force body that, and the Phoenix Force is one of the universe. So.
Does that makes Scott feel better? I don't
it again, this isn't like a Claremont decision. This is like an editorial one.
Right.
And it doesn't necessarily add to the story, but they wanted another X title, right? They're doing that time. There's like a few spinoffs, limited series here and there. All smattering of all these hard to keep track of. There's New Mutants. There's X-Men. They want more, so let's get the original 5 X-Men back together.
More.
But one's dead. No, she's
not anymore. She's not.
Yeah, that's all. That's all that was. And listen, you can take pleasure in it. You can find some fun things in that. I was super excited as a 11-year-old kid that I was seeing history. I was seeing like a new number 1. I was seeing these characters back together. Like, I was getting to experience 1963 all over again for myself, seeing the 5 characters together. So it meant something to me at the time, and that's cool.
That's cool.
Cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, man.
That's cool.
Leafs blew it tonight.
They did. It was 2-2, and then they lost.
Got out of hand. Do you know who scored the second goal for the Leafs?
Yeah, Matthews.
So you got both?
Yeah, he hit 25.
Holy smokes. What a guy. He's incredible. Jason says, good night, my friends. Glad to see you guys for an episode around the holiday season. Happy holidays to both of you. Thank you, Jason. And to
thanks,
you
Jason.
as well.
Really appreciate it.
Hang out as always. So I'm just going to throw these 2 books at you.
Woo!
Group 7 Comics.
I'm going to catch them.
You can get this one on our website, group7comics.ca. This one you can only get in France when we go in January. It's the limited edition Angoulême special, and the contents of this, if you've been following along with our books, like you have these already, and we will be reprinting the 5 comics that are in this in 2 different volumes, in a total of 8 comics when everything is done. But we wanted something to hand over in Europe that was just so we could carry 2 different books and be done, as opposed to carry another floppy. So that's some of our content right there. Follow along on social media right now. We are doing our comic book in 1 month. Every day posting 3 panels of Peregrine's Badlands. There are Peregrines. There are dinosaurs. There are Vikings. What else is going on in that one? Fighting. There's some Raiders. There are some
tension.
Yep. Hay bales. That doesn't add to this.
Loincloths.
There are loincloths, yeah. Double axe wielding, dinosaur skull wearing bandits.
Bad guys.
Raiders. Yeah, some bad guys. So follow along. You can follow along that one at Cooper7 Comics, or at Chris Sanagan, or at Jason Lapidus Art, or all 3. What else do you want to throw out?
I will say just next Tuesday is Boxing Day, and we are probably unlikely to do something just because of the holiday. And we're also we'll let everyone know when we're doing some more stuff. It'll probably be I'm likely thinking like next week's probably off for us. So
okay.
Yeah.
I will also be out of country.
Exactly. So
but I will be bringing a computer and that. But it won't be this. So it's Boxing Day out. It's all good.
Who knows?
Renfu says, good show, lads.
Thanks, bud.
I appreciate what you guys do, and we appreciate you. So there you go.
And I was going to add too, just quickly, our subscriber count is ticking upwards. We're up to 272 on this channel. So thank you, everybody. And I want to shout out to new subscribers. These, I love these names. The Uncanny Human Torch.
Ooh.
The Artemis Barker. Jesus Sabalos Jr., Dave Lindo Music, William Trindade, Helmer Barco, The Thanos Copter, and Andy's Pandies. Thank you very much. I hope I didn't butcher your names too much or your avatars or your handles, thank you for following this channel and subscribing. If you like what we do, hit that subscribe button. We're slowly inching up. It's one new person every couple of weeks.
Yeah, it's fun to try and find an audience because it is such a niche thing, but it's just such a pleasure to hang out with you, Chris, and talk X-Men. So that's good. Hey, you and I are hanging out tomorrow.
We're hanging out tomorrow.
I'm looking forward to that.
Looking forward to raising a beer and celebrating the year that was.
Another year.
Absolutely.
Yeah, good times. Good times.
Good times.
All right, buddy. Did you get any action figures this week?
Did not. But I bought a bunch down in the States for like when I was down there for the sales. And so I'm giving those to myself on Christmas. So I'll open and I'll show you what they are. I think you've seen. I think I probably sent you pics, but that'll be fun to open regardless.
Yeah, big time. And I'm hoping to get a few while I'm down in the States too.
Nice.
Go to Target and see what's kicking around. Maybe on Boxing Day. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. All right, buddy. That's it. And there we go.
Right.
So hope everyone's good. Take care of yourselves. Stay safe. And, have happy holidays. And we'll see you again in a couple of weeks. And if you're going to read some comics, keep it X-Men and enjoy.
Yeah. Happy holidays, everyone. Take care of yourselves. Enjoy the time with family and friends.
Thank you. Have a great night. See you next time.